Hi and welcome back to the channel. This is my 1970 split screen bus, and today I'm going to start to sympathetically restore the paintwork. Generally the bodywork is in pretty good shape. It's nice and solid and the panels are generally straight, but it's had a few touches up over the years, and they're really rough. I mean, even for a patina finish, just a spray can over some loose edge paint isn't that great, and in places I've got quite a bit of breakout, and underneath some of the hinges and things, you know, that just definitely needs to be changed. So there's lots of opportunity, I think, to bring it into a more sympathetic look. You know, I love, you know, in parts like this where the paint's fading and it's just you can just start to see the undercoat just coming through. That looks great, but other places, clearly, it's just a little bit of an eyesore. So first thing I'm going to tackle is this, the petrol cap cover, which is hanging off, needs addressing. I'm going to lose it anyway in not too long time. So let's get that off and see what I can do to bring it back. Right, well, I've taken it back to bare metal, and there was quite a bit of filler on there actually. It needs, I don't know if you can see that, but it's quite bumped and wobbly over the years. I'll planish that, so a little bit of hammer and dolly, just to take that out, get that, oh there you go, you can see, nice and flat and level before I start to apply primer. Okay, so I planished out as best I can. I put just a very small amount of filler on there just to get a nice smooth surface, and I've taken it up through the grits now. So next stage is to panel wipe, to do a tack cloth, and then just get some primer on here. Okay, the primer's just drying off now, so while that's doing that, I'm having another look at the van, and I can see that it looks like it was painted white, and then the bottom half has been painted blue after, and I don't know if that camera picks that up, but you can see the bloom of the white coming through there. So that's kind of what I want to replicate if I can. So I've got my local paint shop to make me up some paints. They've done a colour match on the body against the blue and the white, so I'm going to do 2 coats of white and then put a coat of blue over the top, and then see if I can take back the blue to get off that bloom to come through again. Well, the petrol cap's come out quite well now, and now I'm moving on to some other parts of the body where, to be quite frank, you like patina, but that is just rough rubbish. It's terrible. So this was similar or the same right here, and I've just knocked that back, taking it back through the grits up to 600, bit of a smoother finish, and what I want to do is try and blend that into the rest of the paintwork with a similar patina that's just a little bit more subtle. So I've got both doors now in paint, and that's blended in quite well. I used this blending solvent around the edges after I did the blue, which has helped to blend it in quite well, and it's a pretty good match. My paint shop's done a great job there. Now I'm moving on to the door, and I was hoping just to do this part here, but then I've got a bit of a problem. Look, I don't know if you can see that, but well, you must be able to see it. It's obvious. Look at that. There's a problem. The door sits way low. You have to lift it up to close it, so that hinge has gone. So one job leads to another one. So now I think that door's going to have to come off, and I'll have to give some attention to that bottom bracket. Oh, well, there's the issue. This plate has worn away. So I can push it and flex it and move it. So there's a, I don't know if you can see, but there are like a plate that sits behind where you screw the bolts through. So that kind of floats in there. There should be a clip behind it, just holding that against this plate here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, because this is all solid, this is all really solid, up and below, up and above and below, oh, you know, they're all okay. I'm going to clean off around this area just to make sure that there isn't any rot that extends, and then I'm going to remake this part on the outside, taking it from probably about there to about there, with the dip in there, and refix this little loose, I don't know what you call that, but the plate that you actually screw into to it, and then weld that in there and replace that. And then as long as everything is solid around that, once that's welded in, that'll be as good as new. Okay, just made a little template up, and after cleaning up the area on the bus, this will be the replacement piece. So I'm just going to mark it out, cut it out, and weld it in. There we go, that's it, lovely, fits perfect. Right, I will I'll trim that top and bottom, I think, and just tack it. I don't want to fully weld it in until I test fit the door back on, once I've sorted all the rust out. I don't want to go and weld it in and have to move it, so I'm fairly certain that's okay, but just to be super sure, just a couple of tacks will hold it for now. And I'll come back and finish it off later. Right, back on the door now. All looking pretty good inside. It's nice and solid, apart from the bit of rust on the outside, which I need to address. Everything else looks okay. But first job is to split. Fortunately, on these buses you can take the top panel away, which is good because this is white on the other side and that's blue, so I can deal with those separately anyway. And this has got some quite heavy rust on, so different process to clear that off. So just a couple of bolts here, 2 there and 2 there, and in theory now I should be able to just pull the top straight out. Let's see how we get on. Well, it's pretty straightforward, came out easily. Fortunately, although there are 2 other studs here that on the inside here, they fit, but they had no nuts on them anyway. So they came out really easily, but I'll have to, when I've cleaned that up, I'll have to find some nuts and properly secure it when it goes back on. Right, now I just need to break down the glass and get this in some sort of treatment. Well, there's the top broken down now. You can see the rust inside and out. Getting the glass out was a little bit tricky, but just had to remove a couple of rivets here just to bring that down, and then I could slide the two bits out and this end piece came out quite easily. I'm going to use Detox C, which is, these are crystals in here that you dissolve in water and then put the whole thing in a bath. It's a really non-corrosive, great way I've found in the past to de-rust things over, I don't know, it takes about 24 hours to do. So I'll get it in a bath and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. Well, it's the next morning and it's out the bath, and look at that, comes up great every time. It's really good stuff. So pleased with that. I just need to get that dried off now pretty quick, and then get it into just a quick coat of epoxy primer, stop it rusting again. Okay, so I've done all the welding I was planning to do. Once I'd taken back the paint, I found there were a few spots that are broken through, so that's all done now. And I've given it now same treatment, undercoats, the whites, and then the blue paint. And now what I'm going to do is use 2000 paper and knock that back and see if I can just blend in those new areas that I painted, and see if I can get some of that bloom back. So we'll just see how that goes. A little bit of steady, careful work just to get it back to some cohesive kind of patina on the panel. Ugly, not ugly. Well, there we go, doors back on. Took a little bit of finessing, shall we say, just to get it all to line up and work. I put the trim back on and I'm really pleased with the result. Compared with where I was, I've still managed to retain some of the bloom, which is the look I was going for. Now, that's not everybody's taste, you know, everybody's got an opinion. Some people like the rust, some people like them pristine. Let me know what you think, but I'm quite happy with how this has turned out so far. Obviously, I've got a bit to do on the front, and there's a little bit on the back as well, just to complete this kind of look I'm going for. But I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for now. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.